Welcome back, everybody, to High Quality Trades, the channel where I provide top-notch technical analysis on the stock market, where we go over simple support and resistance levels, trendline breaks, and pattern formations. And I give you the price targets of where price is headed in the coming days. So let's get into it. In today's video, we will be going over the most significant support and resistance levels on the SPY, the QQQs, and the VIX. And at the end of this video, we'll be going over Apple, AMD, Coinbase, and CSCO systems. So let's start this video off on the SPY's 4-hour time frame. So today is October 15th. And the most recent close of the SPY was 579.78. It reached a high of 584.90 and a low of 578.54. We were negative 0.78% on the day. Alright guys, so what's the SPY currently doing? So it looks like with yesterday's price action, the SPY made a full measured move of this head and shoulders pattern. Now I was saying at this level I thought the bears might step in and try to push price lower, and today that's exactly what happened. We fell down towards support at 580.13. Now yesterday it looked like we were breaking out to the upside of this rising wedge pattern. But now we've fallen back into this pattern and we're leaning bearish again. So come tomorrow, what the SPY needs to do is get above this 580.13 level, then we can push back up towards 582.46, and if we're able to get above this level, head on to new all-time highs. But if we remain below this 580 level, then 577.63 is our next support level, and we could head down towards our lower ascending trend line of this rising wedge pattern down at 575.07. Now if the SPY was to break out of this rising wedge pattern to the downside, this is ultimately signaling that the SPY could fall down to 548.68 in the coming days to weeks. Now the MACD on the 4-hour has started, is just about to curl over, so that may signal more bearish price action to come. I do know on the daily time frame we have curled over and we're headed down towards the zero line. So this is bearish in itself to push price lower now that we have this bearish engulfing candle here on the daily time frame. If we are to break below the lows of today, that would signal for more bearish price action to come in the upcoming days. So all something to be aware of, guys, here on the SPY. Alright, that's it. Now let's head on to the QQQs. So the QQQs today had a very bearish looking day. I believe in 1 hour we fell almost $10. So yeah, here on the 8 o'clock hour we fell from 498.23 all the way down to 490.05, which was our support level here. So it looks like we're holding support at 490 at the current moment, but that is coinciding with our ascending trend line of the rising wedge that the QQQs has formed over the past couple months. So if the QQQs was to fall out of this rising wedge pattern to the downside, then a full measured move of this rising wedge signals for the QQQs to head down towards 451. So that would be pretty bearish for the overall market if the SPY and the QQQs break to the downside out of these rising wedge patterns. I would say tomorrow what the QQQs needs to do is hold above this 490.07 level, and then it can head back up towards 494.19. Now the QQQs has not yet completed its head and shoulders pattern. So a full measured move puts us up here at 502. So it is possible that we hold support here, then we could head up towards 502. Now if we pull up the MACD, it's curled over and headed down towards the 0 line. So this could push price lower in the coming days. I would say the bulls have their work cut out for them. And the daily time frame MACD is curled over and moving down towards the 0 line. So this could in turn continue pushing price lower. I'd say if we break below the lows of today at 448.68, then that could signal more bearish price action to come in the upcoming days. Okay, that's it for the triple Qs. Let's head on to the VIX. So the VIX here on the 4-hour time frame has found support at 1939. Now it does look to be pushing back up towards 2198, and if it breaks above this level, then we'll probably head up towards these highs here, which will be 2329. The VIX is ultimately broken out of a descending triangle pattern that a full measured move has signaled that the VIX is going to head up towards 2465 in the coming days. As long as we continue making higher highs and higher lows on the VIX, that is bearish for the overall market in the days and weeks to come. So let's just see what happens going into the end of this week. Alright, that's it for the VIX. Now let's go over Apple stock. So Apple on the daily time frame has broken out to the upside of this bullish panic pattern. Full disclosure, I'm trading this one. I bought it on the break of this breakup candle yesterday with the stop underneath 228.53. So it looks like we broke above our resistance of 223.96 and headed up to our next resistance level of 237.26. Ultimately, this is where the bears stepped in and started to push price lower. Right now we're hovering at the 232 support level. If Apple can hold this level, then we should be headed back up towards 237.26 and making new all-time highs. I do see kind of a sloppy bull flag pattern here. That a measured move, I'll just kind of map it out here what I was seeing. So this is a consolidation area, and this could be the flagpole. With the breakout from today, this is signaling for Apple stock to reach up to 247.16. That's where I'm looking for price to head in the coming days. I would say Apple needs to get back above 237 to head on up towards 247. But say Apple falls below 232.96, then it's most likely headed down towards 229.73, and we could go and retest this descending trend line of our pennant pattern as support before ultimately the buyers step in and push price higher. So that's what I'm looking for Apple to do in the coming days. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. So let's move on to AMD. So AMD on the daily time frame has broken its long-term descending trend line that was created back in March. So with this bullish break, as long as AMD remains above this descending trend line, it's most likely headed up towards 187.64. So we are trying to hold support here at the descending trend line at the current moment. I do see a gap right below us that would fill somewhere around 149.48. So if the bears try to push price down to this gap and ultimately fill it, this is where I'd say the bulls will try to step in and continue pushing price back up. That would be the bullish scenario. But if we did break through this level, then we don't have any support until around 139.92. If AMD manages to hold this level, then we should be headed back up towards 173.95. Then if we broke above this level, we'd head up towards 187.28. Alright, that's it for AMD. Let's go over Coinbase. The past couple days have been quite bullish for Coinbase. Looks like here on the 4-hour, we had a descending triangle pattern that Coinbase broke out of a couple days ago. Did reach a full measured move of this descending triangle pattern with yesterday and today's price action. So I would say Coinbase needs to stay above 192.69, then it can push upwards to 213.05. We actually do have another descending trend line here that if we were to break above, that would be extremely bullish for Coinbase, and that would mean we're breaking out of quite a big bull flag pattern. If I go out onto the weekly, I think we'll be able to see it pretty easy. But this is all a consolidation flag type pattern that would put price reaching all the way up towards 430.05 if we were to break to the upside. It's all speculation at the current moment, because Coinbase ultimately needs to break that descending trend line and get above 213. And then it has quite a few other support levels, resistance levels that it'll need to break to continue pushing upwards. But if Coinbase cannot hold 192.69, then it will head down towards 187.23. If this level was to break, we'd head down towards 176.83. Another thing to be aware of, looks like on the daily time frame, we did crash into our 200-day moving average. Coinbase does need to get above this to continue pushing higher. If we stay below it, that would be bearish for price to fall lower in the coming days. Alrighty, that's it for Coinbase. Let's go over our last stock, CSCO Systems. So CSCO Systems on the weekly time frame has formed a bullish pennant pattern. We have just started to peek our head above the upper descending trend line of this pennant. So if we are to get a weekly break of this pennant, that would be very bullish for CSCO Systems. Then we could head up towards 58.37, and then our next price target would be up here at 64.27. But if CSCO Systems can't get above this descending trend line and we head back lower, we have support at 52.69, and we could head down towards, let's go down to the daily. Could head down towards 51.06 if we cannot break this descending trend line. Here on the daily time frame, we do have quite a big gap that CSCO is trying to fill. It's currently found resistance at. So the bullish scenario, the CSCO Systems is able to fill this gap at 55.42, and then we could head up towards that 58 level. Most likely what happens if CSCO is able to fill this gap, that the bears try to step in and push price back down, because as gaps get filled, most of the time they act as resistance for a while until the bulls are able to push price back above. But could be a very bullish scenario here on CSCO Systems. If we zoom out a little bit here on the weekly time frame, we have quite the consolidation here in this box. I mean, we have consolidation back here from 2018. So we have about 6-7 years of bullish consolidation that if we were able to push above would be very bullish. Let's just go over what a full measured move of this bullish pennant would bring us up to. So if we were to break out to the upside, it's signaling that CSCO Systems could reach upwards of 85.14, but this would be a little bit longer of a time frame because of the long-term bullish consolidation. If we go out even further though, CSCO does have an all-time high of 82. So a bullish break to the upside out of this consolidation would signal that we go break all-time highs. Alright guys, and with that, that's going to be the end of this video. I appreciate you guys watching. I wish you the best in your trading. And I'll see you guys in the next video.